My name is Tracy Peters, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist living and working in Winnipeg, Manitoba on Treaty 1 territory. This is my exhibition, Subconscious Terrain, currently on at the Estevan Art Gallery and Museum. So the exhibition is called Subconscious Terrain, and it's based on the last 3-4 years of my research about bogs and sphagnum moss, which is the primary plant that forms a bog. The exhibition is made up of about 20 fabric panels with imprints of the sphagnum moss on them, and I wanted to talk about the fragility of bog ecosystems. So I've tried to create an immersive experience for visitors to move through the installation. So visually, you come into the gallery space and you're faced with 6-foot tall, very light, airy fabric panels that are suspended from the ceiling. And they're suspended this way because this is the way that sphagnum moss inhabits a bog. They float in water. And sphagnum moss, they're strands of moss that stick together and they support each other in a bog. And this is how bogs are built. They work together to grow in a bog. And they absorb massive amounts of water, and they're fed from the clouds, so they need rainwater, and this is how they survive. They absorb the water and they hold the water and filter it. And so the panels are a bluish greenish color, which is meant to evoke this watery environment. And they also move with air movement, and so I'm hoping that as visitors move through it, that the panels will move along with them as well. The process starts with me in the bog, like visiting this environment, and my curiosity prompts me to learn all about what is going on in a bog. So non-invasive way, I collected some of the plants, some of the sphagnum moss, and brought it home with me, and I used some of the strands to create imprints on film. So I took the moss and I pressed the moss strands onto the film and exposed it in the sunlight for several hours. And then I scan the images and work with them in digital software to layer them. At this point, I was trying to create some kind of an installation, and I soon realized that, well, the moss has sort of a spine-like anatomy to it, and I was relating that to the human body, and I wanted to create this immersive environment in a gallery space. And so I decided to print the moss images large, which would be, human size, onto these fabric panels. And this way there would be this one-on-one kind of relationship between the moss and the human body. My artistic practice is largely based in photography, but I do make short films and videos, but mostly my installations so far have all been based in photography. I've been interested in looking at photographs and the photographic process since since I can remember. By making my own prints, I really learned how to work with light and to capture light, and that's when I first started to think about how the light affects my work. And so I've used light in my work ever since then. And I also started to think about the surfaces of the prints because I was holding them all the time and working and developing them. And they became these kind of skins, like membranes and surfaces. And I started using my photographs as a material. And this is when I became interested in installation of sculptural photographs, making them three-dimensional. Well, I hope it might create some curiosity about what sphagnum moss is and what a bog is. Because 5 years ago I didn't know anything about bogs, and so I'm creating work I'm leaving it up to the viewer, the visitor to experience it the way they like. But I'm hoping that it will spark some curiosity and just give them an immersive experience in the space. I really appreciate the opportunity to, again, show in this beautiful space and to be invited by the gallery and Andersen to be able to bring this work to Estevan. And I also appreciate very much the opportunity to show on Treaty 4 territory. I want to thank Sarah and Carly for installing this work. They did a beautiful job.